and Uber inside Facebook Messenger, Slack launches its own apps directory, Google shares the top searches of 2015, and more. It's Wednesday, December 16th, and this is Crunch Report. So Facebook Messenger just got a nifty new feature. If you use it anyway, you can now order transportation right from within the messaging app. It's actually only linked to Uber at the moment, but more ride services are in the works. Now, what makes it handy inside Messenger specifically is that it'll also alert your chat thread when you've grabbed a ride so your friends can keep track of your arrival time and keep you honest. Facebook's taking a page right out of WeChat's book. That's China's biggest messaging and calling app that lets users book cars on ride-sharing platforms like China's Didi. Side note, WeChat's parent company Tencent previously blocked users from booking with Uber a handful of times recently, although Facebook says that is not what spurred this particular partnership. Uber in Messenger is really easy to use. You just click on the car icon or find transportation as an option in the 3-dot-more menu below where you write your messages. An incentive here, anybody who uses Messenger transportation will get a $20 Uber credit. Isn't that generous of them? But also a good way to get users to try it out and hopefully like the experience enough to do it again. As for the competition, a source close to the matter tells TechCrunch that Uber rival Lyft will also offer rides through Facebook Messenger starting in January. Now, of these 700 million people already on Messenger, only several US cities are getting access to transportation in the app today, but Facebook says everybody in the US should get the feature by Christmas. Grandma will get home safe. Slack is the social collaboration tool of the enterprise these days. There are others, but with 2 million daily active users and 570,000 paid seats, Slack is pretty much the top dog. And now it has its own apps directory. Slack.com/apps helps you discover all of the apps that you can hook into Slack to customize your experience, whether it's a service you already use or something new altogether. Slack also announced that it's teamed up with a group of investors, Accel, Andreessen Horowitz, Index Ventures, Kleiner Perkins, Spark, and Social Capital to launch an $80 million Slack First Fund. So that means it's funding enterprise software developers that are making Slack integration part of their core product. The Slack Fund's first 3 investments are project management app Howdy, communication app Awesome, and Small Wins, which isn't even in Slack's app store yet, but I'm sure it's going to be great. It's a smart move, really smart move, because even if a competitor product does everything that Slack does, you can't duplicate a developer ecosystem very easily. Remember when Apple bought Topsy for $200 million about 2 years ago? I forgive you if you don't. The deal was pretty quiet, and at the time, some of us were wondering, what does Apple want to do with a social media analytics service, since Apple historically didn't really do social, especially not 2 years ago, and a lot of people loved Topsy, particularly because it was one of just a few services that had early access to Twitter's full data firehose. Well, in its first tweet since being acquired, Topsy has announced that it's shutting down. How apropos. This isn't really a big surprise. The company stopped allowing premium users to pay for additional analytics and services about a year ago, and Topsy.com now redirects to an Apple support page for search within iOS. There's no explanation for that at all, which is slightly odd, but Apple is odd in general about things like this. So what did the company buy Topsy for? Well, TechCrunch's John Russell writes that perhaps building out the relevancy engine of the app and iTunes store with social signals to the search algorithms could improve the relevance of search results and help Apple surface apps that users want the most. Plus, Apple could track app trends across all sorts of social networks that would give the company more information to fine-tune categories and collections of apps. Moving on now to Google, world's biggest search engine, which knows a lot about what we're all searching for. And this year's Year in Search list, which it does every year, is kind of like the ultimate Google zeitgeist. So, in 2015, what made the top search list? Well, kind of some sad stuff. Basketball player Lamar Odom, Paris, the movie Jurassic World, and the action game Agario topped the search list, although Google also offers category lists like sports or TV shows or consumer tech too to kind of drill down. Google only counts its own results, so if you're a country that favors another search engine, for example China or Russia, you're not going to be factored in the way US searchers would be. In 2015, Google counted more than 897 million searches about Paris itself, which suffered 2 major terrorist attacks this year. And in November, right after the second attack, Google saw the most searches about Paris, the city, ever performed in Google's history, with queries like, what happened in Paris? And who were the terrorists? Other top news events, Hurricane Patricia in October, terrorist group ISIS, and Nepal after that country's devastating earthquake back in April. Okay, let's talk about something uplifting, okay? We're on a year-end roll. So what were the best performing tech stocks of 2015? Well, we gotta hand it to Amazon, which entered the year trading at $308.52 and closed today around $676. That is 150% gain. Congrats, investors. Woo! This year, Amazon finally generated revenue from its retail business and saw big growth in its Amazon Web Services. But there are other stocks you might be glad you owned this year as well. Facebook rose 34%. Netflix spiked a whopping 145%. Alphabet, formerly Google, stock rose 40%. Microsoft gained 20%. Nvidia saw a 65% rise. GoDaddy and Adobe both saw their stock up 30%. And today, Salesforce closed up 33% on the year. And don't worry, we'll also be reporting the worst performing stocks in a soon-to-be-published article, lest you forget that 2015 was a very punishing year for tech. And that is the report for today. I'm Sarah Lane. Thanks for watching. Crunch Report airs every weekday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on TechCrunch.com. Find us on iTunes and on YouTube as well. And subscribe if you like it. See you tomorrow.